What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of RetroShock Plays. Today we're playing 3 Dirty Dwarves on the Sega Saturn. This is one of my favorite games on the system. It is not only a really fun game, but it's also a really nice looking game. All the graphics in the game, I believe, are hand-drawn, which really shows and gives it a really unique and cool look. The game really shows off what the Saturn can do as far as 2D. The Saturn was built as a 2D powerhouse, and this is one of the best examples of what it can do. So the game is, I guess, sort of a side-scrolling beat-em-up, I guess you could say. But it's really unique and a bit hard to explain. So I'll kind of do my best to explain the game as we're going along here, but there's so much going on. It's pretty ridiculous at times. So as you can see, you play as 3 different dwarves, as the title of the game would suggest. You do not play all 3 of them at once, obviously. You can freely switch between them by using the left and right triggers. Oh man, I hate this hand that comes out of the sewer. Not sure if I can actually take out the hand with my long-range attack. Okay, yes I can. Well, that works. So yeah, you do have long and short-range attacks, and each dwarf has their own attacks and abilities that they can use. So this guy, as you can see, can throw bowling balls. He can also use his bowling pins as a melee attack, so like that. Kind of does an uppercut with the bowling pin. Then there's this guy. He has a shotgun, which is quite nice. You'd think he would be the best dwarf to play as, but not really, because his reload time is fairly slow, and while he's reloading, he's vulnerable and can't move. So I don't really care for using him that much. You also have this guy who has a baseball bat. Pretty self-explanatory. You can use that as a melee weapon and also hit baseballs as a long-range attack. So in addition to the standard attacks, you also have special attacks. And those can be initiated with the X, Y, and Z buttons. In order to use those special attacks, you do need power skulls, though, which are the skulls at the top left of the screen there. Each one of your special attacks requires a certain amount of skulls. So you have a low power attack which only requires 1 skull, you have a mid-range attack which requires 2 skulls, and you have the really powerful attack which combines all 3 dwarves into one giant dwarf, and that does a mega attack like this, and that uses 3 skulls. So yeah, those are the basic attacks of the game. A fairly good variety of moves you can do, which is nice. So as you might have been able to tell, you can't actually die per se in the game. I mean, you can. If all 3 dwarves are knocked out, you will have a game over. But each dwarf is knocked out every time they're hit, and when they're knocked out, you can actually revive them by using your melee attack on them with one of the other dwarves. So in a sense, you kind of have unlimited lives. You just have to make sure you keep on top of things and make sure all your dwarves are conscious. So it's kind of a cool way of doing the life system in the game. Kind of a waste doing the mega attack on one orc, but whatever. You only have a certain amount of power skulls that you can actually hold, so if you're full, you might as well use one of your attacks. It's not too much point in saving it unless you're going to use it for one specific enemy. There are some much more powerful enemies on the later levels that you might want to use the special attacks on, or save the special attacks for. I hate these guys in the sewers. Kind of pop up and throw things at you, and then when you get over to them, they're down under the ground again, and you can't hit them. They take a few hits to kill, too. So you can pick up enemies as well if you get close enough to them and throw them. You can also throw them into other enemies and use them as weapons. Alright. So I believe I have to kill... Okay, yeah. So certain areas require you to actually kill all of the enemies before you can proceed. These rats are really annoying as well. They don't actually hurt you, but they will take away your power skulls, which is quite annoying, especially when you're trying to save them up. I got one skull anyway, which this rat is probably about to take away. I seem to have lost one of my dwarves. Okay, there he is. Sometimes they end up getting knocked unconscious off the screen. So if you just go up to the edge of the screen and use your melee attack, you can usually revive them that way. If you do end up losing one of your dwarves, you can find them later on down the road. Usually they'll be hiding in barrels or crates, things like that. Alright, stage cleared, so we're gonna move on to a boss battle now. I do have cutscenes in the middle of some of the levels. Kinda looks like a Saturday morning cartoon. It's kinda cool. There is a storyline to the game. Apparently these three dwarves are actually alter egos of some kids that have been kidnapped in an alternate dimension, and they're out to save them. I guess they need to find the door to the alternate dimension in order to go and save them. Something like that. It's kind of a interesting story, I guess. Alright, so this is the first boss in the game, the Pit Bully. So basically you just need to use your long-range attack to attack his face when it's exposed. So his face will only be exposed when he throws the dogs. You have to be really careful to make sure that your dwarves stay conscious here. Because the dogs will actually carry them away. And once they carry them away, you can't get them back. Like that. So yeah, that's quite annoying. It's not too difficult once you get the hang of it, though. You just have to keep on top of things. I am about to die here, probably. Shouldn't take too many more hits, though. There we go. Yeah, fortunately, he doesn't take too many hits to kill. I just barely beat him this time. But there we go. Stage cleared. So it actually says how much time it took you to complete each stage at the bottom, so I guess this took me 1.12 seconds. Wait, no. 1 minute and 12 seconds, sorry. Obviously I did not beat it in a second. That would probably be a world record speedrun, I'm sure. Alright, so moving on to the hills of the Bronx. I believe all of the levels take place in the Bronx or New York. I actually haven't beaten the game yet. I've gotten quite far into it. I don't know how many levels there are, but I think I got maybe 5 levels in, something like that. I just can't get over how great this game looks, though. The hand-drawn graphics look amazing. When I first got my Saturn, this was one of the games that I wanted to pick up right away. Because I saw some gameplay footage of it on YouTube, and I thought, wow. Wow. It's just such a nice looking game. Oh, I hate these rats. So there are these giant rats that take quite a few hits to kill. Eventually, they'll turn back into normal rats, and you can take them out, but it takes a lot of hits. And obviously you have to be careful not to lose all your dwarves. There we go. They're so annoying, though. Much more annoying than the standard rats, which actually can't kill you. Oh, jeez. Yeah, so this lady orc here, she's pretty annoying too. She takes a lot of hits to kill. She also throws bombs at you, which is annoying. So you kind of have to keep your distance and do long-range attacks. I could use my special attack, that stupid rat head, and take away all of my power skulls. I always keep forgetting to... You actually have to throw the ball up in the air and then hit it. So it requires 2 button presses to do his long-range attack. There we go. I've actually never done that before, that's funny. She's found the love of her life. How nice. I don't know what these things are supposed to be. They're very annoying, though. Spike balls of some sort. Oh, I didn't want to do some... I was trying to throw something at that hole in the wall. For some reason, you have things that are being thrown at you from the background, and if you plug up the hole, it will stop it. But I failed to see how shooting it with a shotgun will plug up the hole. It's kind of weird, but it works anyway. I lost my dwarf. There we go. There we go. Hole plugged up. Now, even though you can freely switch between the dwarves at any time, I find that a lot of the time I don't bother, because there's just so much going on, and your dwarves tend to get knocked out very frequently. So most of the time I'm just trying to concentrate on reviving my dwarves that have been knocked out. Let me try the bowling ball guy. I like using him because you can throw the bowling ball and follow it down the screen and take out any enemies that are along the way. Oh, shoot. Looks like I was killed by that security guard over there. Well, anyway, guys, I think I'll just end the video here. I think you have a good idea of what the game is like. I would highly, highly recommend this if you are a Saturn owner and you're a fan of 2D side-scrolling beat-em-ups. It just doesn't get much better than 3 Dirty Dwarves. The gameplay is so much fun, and it is a beautiful looking game. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.